Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah to all my brothers, Yahweh Shema Alatah Hashem, Yahweh Shah to all my sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. And what we do is we teach the Black, Hispanics, and Natives that they are God's true and only chosen people. And with that comes with a set of responsibilities. Those responsibilities is for us to take care of one another. You know what I'm saying? To show each other that we truly do love each other. You know what I'm saying? To guide, protect, and look out for one another. You know what I'm saying? We are seeing more and more examples of us gathering together as times pass on. You know what I'm saying? The Alabama brawl was a beautiful thing. You were seeing brothers and sisters gather together, you know what I'm saying, to protect one brother that was just doing his job. That's all the brother was doing his job. But I'm going to present to you another way and another reason for us to gather together. And that is to not vote. That is to not vote, because what does voting actually do? What does voting actually show you? What voting actually does and what it actually shows you is that we are dependent on a certain group of people to solve our issues. We are dependent on a certain group of people to lead us. We are dependent on a certain group of people, you know what I'm saying, to rule over us. And that is something that we are fully against in the Isupk. We could depend on each other. We can look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're about. Looking and dependent on each other. You know what I'm saying? So, how may I put it? We're gonna get it in, you know what I'm saying? If you have any questions, don't be afraid to type your questions in. Don't be afraid to, you know, just voice your opinions. You know what I'm saying? If you disagree, if you agree, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? This is the Isupk. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. There's no cowards in here. You know what I'm saying? If you got a dispute, voice it. You know what I'm saying? Anything you got, just let us know. You know what I'm saying? We definitely about that action. But what I want more than anything is for you to get, you know, at least represent where you're from. Represent your city and your state. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, put your name out there so we know where you at. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to, if you don't have any questions, we're going to start this off with Exodus 23:8. Let me type it in the chat. I type all my scriptures in the chat so we have a record so you can always go back. And you know what I'm saying? Just in case, you know, you might be driving, you might be at work, you might be doing anything. You might be just a little bit too busy to actually, you know what I'm saying, be studious right now. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, give me a sec. Give me a sec. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions, type them on in. We're going to start with Exodus 23:8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and it perverteth the words of the righteous. Now, what is that talking about right there? How does a gift blind? What gift am I talking about in context to the subject of the class today? What gift am I talking about? What gift? What gift am I talking about? Let me explain it to you. The gift that I'm talking about is the right to vote. The right to vote is what is destroying the wise. How is the right to vote destroying the wise? We fought so long and so hard. We fought for the right to vote. We fought for our opinions and our concerns to be heard. You know what I'm saying? We fought for them to consider our well-being for so long that when they finally gave us the right to vote, we thought that was the end all be all. That's what made us equal. We thought that the right to vote is what made us on equal planes with our enemy and our oppressor. And it does not. The right to vote does not make us on equal plane. The right to vote actually shows how weak we are. The right to vote shows us how destroyed we are. The right to vote to have somebody to lead us that has not the same concerns that we have, does not care about our people as much as you do. Martin Luther King fought for the right to vote. You know what I'm saying? So many people fought for the right to vote. And where has that gotten us? Where has your vote gotten you? That's what you need to ask yourself. Where? You know what I'm saying? Let me start that back from the top. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous. It perverts the words of the righteous, man. Those who are struggling so hard to lead our people in the right direction are blinded by this gift that we are teaching each other that you gotta vote or die. You know what I'm saying? You gotta vote or die. You gotta rock the vote. If you don't vote, you know what I'm saying, your opinion don't matter. And that's not what God wanted. That's not what God ever wanted for us. You know what I'm saying? That's not what he wanted for us to do, because what you are actually doing, is molding us into a society that God wants us to have no parts of. The Most High don't want us to have any parts of this world or society, and you fighting for us to vote, fighting for that vote, you're pushing us further into it. You know what I'm saying? And let's prove that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7, and I think 6. Hold on, let me check real quick before I type it in and fully have it set. Yeah, it is 7 and 6. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6. You know what I'm saying? I'll give y'all a second to get there. Remember, if you got a question of any kind, just type it right on in. You know what I'm saying? This is the world, you know what I'm saying, where there's no cowards. You got a question, because your question might be able to help the next brother or sister. They probably got that on their mind, but they too scared to voice it just like you are. Gain some courage. Help that brother or sister out. You know what I'm saying? But if you're there, let's go. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. The Lord for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. This is talking directly to the Black, Hispanic, and Native people. It said, for we are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The word holy just means separate, set apart. We're not like everybody else. So when you are encouraging us to vote, you are encouraging us to be like everybody else. When the Lord straight up and down tells us that we are not like everybody else, we are not to be doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. We are not to be doing it. That is a sign of weakness. No man respects it. You know, the Asian community does not vote, right? Only time they vote is when an Asian is running. And they will gather together and vote for that Asian. And the pure sign of that is in Boston. Chinatown never voted. You know what I'm saying? Little Saigon and Phil Corner never voted. You know what I'm saying? People don't vote, you know what I'm saying, unless it's for their own. Because they only want their own to lead them. They only want their own to follow them. But us, we are encouraging each other to have another nation lead us. We are encouraging each other to have another nation rule over us. And it's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Let's read that again. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. We are a separate people unto the Lord our power. We are a separate people. So voting is not for us. Let's continue. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. He has chosen us to be a special people unto himself. If you look at Black, Hispanic, and Natives, we are a special people. There is nobody like us. We excel in everything that we do, from entertainment to sports to academia. You know what I'm saying? We are ruling. We are the smartest, the most athletic, the most talented. But we are so weak that we are allowing each other to vote for a ruler to be over us, when we could just separate and depend on each other, separate and love each other, separate and look out for each other. We don't have to vote. Asian people don't vote. The East Indians don't vote. The Eastern Europeans don't vote. But we do. We do. We make their elections exciting. They are all pandering to us because their elections is a form of entertainment. And we are the ones that make it entertaining. So they're getting money from us on two fronts here. They are using us on two fronts. And we are allowing it. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. Read that again. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above. This is what y'all need to understand. It says that we are above. Hold on. What are we above? What are we above? All people. We are above all people. We are above those who we are voting for. So why are we voting for them to rule over us? Why are we putting them over us when God said that we are over them? We are above all people that are upon the face of the earth, no matter if they're East Indian, no matter if they're Asian, no matter if they're European, no matter if they're Polynesian. We are above them all. Nobody should be ruling over us but us. Nobody. So why do they promote us to vote? Why do they want us to vote so much? Let me tell you why they want us to vote so much. They want us to vote because the simple fact is it keeps us underneath their thumb. It keeps us underneath their rulership. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back to Exodus 23. Let's go back to Exodus 23. Let me type it up in there. Let's go to Exodus 23 and 1. All right, if you're there, you're there. Let's get with it. Exodus 23 and 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. What are you doing when you're voting? What are you straight up and down doing when you're voting? I mean, I see we got a few people in the class. Let me tell you something. When you are voting, you are raising up a false report. You are reporting that we need our enemy's help. You are reporting that we need our enemy to lead us. You are reporting that we have problems that we can't solve on our own. So we need your help to solve these problems. We need your help to solve black on black crime. Ain't that what the crime bill of the 90s was about? Then in the 70s, we begged for them to put more police in our community. And what has that done for us? There's more cops killing us. In the 60s, let's go back to the 20s. Our interaction with police was not friendly. Why would you want more of them in our neighborhood? Because we had issues and we didn't depend on each other to solve it. We depended on our enemies to solve it. You know what I'm saying? That was the issue. That was the problem right there. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Look, let's admit, P. Diddy is evil. Salaki, bear with me. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai, Sir Salaki. Three. All right. That's a lot of chicken to clean. But Salaki, sir, I'm actually teaching class right now too. Class is over. I'll say it'll be over way before 9 when I'm finished with these set of scriptures that I got planned out for voting. So I say give it about an hour. Count out on time. Shalom, Lord Christ. Salaki on that. So thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. What are we doing when we're voting? We're following a multitude. We are following the masses. And what is the evil? Putting another nation above us. Putting another nation above us that we believe could solve our problems. And that is evil. That is an evil way to think. To put a nation of people that hates us, that has done nothing throughout history but proven that they have hate for us. And you expect them to solve our problems? You expect them to be the answer? Well, all they have ever done was be our problem? That's all they have ever done. You ask for housing and they build projects. They built tall cans and stuffed us in it. We are packed in these projects like sardines. And then when we finally get used to it, we finally make a home out of these projects. What do? Tear them down and gentrify it. You know what I'm saying? And now you have nowhere to go. Rent is way too high. Now you're suffering through it. You're suffering through it because of their greed. You know what I'm saying? This is what we vote for. This is what our vote has given us. Our vote has given us the right for our women to kill almost 500,000 babies a year. That's what your vote has done. That's what you voted for. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what you voted for. But let's drop that. Let's drop down to verse 7. Let's jump down to verse 7. Let's continue with that. Exodus chapter 23, verse 7. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not. What is this false matter? What is this false matter? This false matter is the urgency and the importance of voting in the Black community. Like I said before, Asians don't vote. Why are they above us if they don't vote? Why are their concerns met if they don't vote? They passed the Asian crime bill, and Asians do not vote. Asians only vote when there's an Asian running. But they passed the Asian crime bill. You know why? Because these people stick together. And they passed that crime bill because if you didn't pass that crime bill, that will upset their peoples in China. See, America respects its enemies. It does not respect the slave. And you voting only proves how much of a slave you are. Asians don't vote, and they got a crime bill passed. Where's their crime bill for Black people? Where's their crime bill for Hispanic people, Native American people? Where's that crime bill at? Know why? Because we are slaves. We are slaves in this country, and we need to understand that and work around that together as a people. That's the only way we can get out of being a slave, is coming together, not depending on our enemy to get us out of it. I mean, we've been doing that forever. We've been doing that forever. And what has changed? We've been depending on this enemy to free us since Lincoln. And Lincoln told you straight up and down, if it wasn't to keep the Union together, he would not have freed us. He would not have. It wasn't for our best interests why he so-called made the Emancipation Proclamation. No. There was two motivations behind that. That was the start of the Industrial Revolution. Machines are cheaper than human labor. You don't have to feed and clothe and shelter machines. But you do have to do that with humans. So boom. Technology took your slavery away. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? The Union was more important to Lincoln than our freedom. Know why? Because we didn't actually get freedom. What happened to us is that we were set loose. If we was given freedom, they would have gave us everything they took from us. They would have gave us back our language. They would have gave us our land. We would have had our independence and our separation from them. But instead, all they did was let us run loose and wild. And upon us running loose and wild, guess what happened? We banded together. We started loving each other, taking care of each other, looking out for each other, building up cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Seneca Village, so forth and so on. There is hundreds of cities that are underwater right now due to man-made lakes that we built. And they burned down. They destroyed. And you know why they did it? Because they knew us banding together was making us stronger than them. They seen it. Our economy amongst each other was growing. The black dollar took weeks or months to get out of the Black community back then. And now it only takes minutes or seconds. We get paid, we giving it right back to them. We are literally still slaves. We work for food, clothes, and shelter. Guess what we got when we were slaves? Food, clothes, and shelter. Same thing. We didn't get to really enjoy life like that. Now we got to sacrifice food, clothes, and shelter just to enjoy life. Just to go on a little vacation, you are sacrificing your well-being. Just to go to the club, you are sacrificing your well-being. And that's the hell that we live in. And that's what our vote has gotten us to this day. You know what I'm saying? So let's read that again. Keep thee far from a false report or false matter. It is a false matter. It is not. Voting is not important. It is nothing that benefits us. Know why? Because every time we vote, we get kicked in the ass. Every time we vote, something bad happens to us. Every time. Voting has never done anything of importance to better us. It is a false matter. Vote or die, that is a false matter. Rock the vote, that is a false matter. Vote or else, that is a false matter. If the vote mattered, it don't matter to us. It matters to them. It helps them get into office. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help our concern. It doesn't help. Well, know why? Because we are dependent on the enemy. They will give you all the promises in the world. They will pander to you, talking about the hot sauce in the bag. You're not black if you don't vote for them. They would do all that. They would do all that. And you will fall for it hook, line, and sinker. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. For I will not justify the wicked. Like we like to say, when we're voting, we are choosing the lesser of two evils. That's what you're doing when you're voting. You're choosing the lesser of two evils. But what did the scripture say? It says, I will not justify the wicked. So when you are voting for the lesser of two evils, guess what you're doing? You're justifying the wicked. You are straight up and down justifying the wicked. They don't deserve your vote. They don't deserve your attention. They don't deserve nothing from you. Because all they're going to do is give you a whole bunch of promises, and they're going to end up just allowing a cop to kill you. They're going to allow white people to shoot at you while you're just doing your job, delivering FedEx packages, and they get off on a mistrial, and you're going to have to suffer through a retrial again. And most likely, you can't afford those lawyers. So guess what those lawyers are going to do? They're going to suggest that you either go through the retrial, which is bringing you through more anguish, or just forget about it because it's going to end up in the same result, a mistrial. Which is most likely will end up in the same result. And this is what you voted for. You voted for that type of abuse because you believed in a false matter. You believe that these people will help you. You believe that these people loved you. You believe that you were equal to them. It's a false matter. You are not that. These people will never care for you. People don't love you. And all they want is your destruction. That's all they've proven to you time and time again. That's all they ever proved to you, is that they just want you to die and you just want to vote for them. You believe that you are part of society because you voted. Let me tell you something. You are not. Let me tell you something. You are not part of them. You're not part of their society, and they don't want you a part of it. They want you to have that illusion of inclusion. Make you feel like you're a part of something. Make you feel like you're with them. That's why when our people are amongst them, we feel like we're the elite amongst our people. Well, no, you're not the elite. You're just a pawn to destroy your own people. What they call it, the boule, the bougie, whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? They just want to destroy your puff daddies, your Oprahs. Yeah, they would convince you to vote. But let me tell you something. All you're doing is destroying yourself and your people with every vote you cast. And that's all history has shown you. That's all history has shown you time and time again. The more you vote, nothing is going to change. You vote, nothing change. You vote, nothing change. You vote, you're still getting killed by cops. You vote, your rent is still getting raised. You vote all the problems that you have, your babies will still get aborted. You vote every problem that we have to this day, we had before the 60s. And in fact, the problems have gotten worse with every vote you casted. You know what I'm saying? So let's drop that. Let's get Leviticus 19 and 11. Let's get Leviticus 19 and 11. Let's get it. (19 and 11). Again, Leviticus 19:11. Remind you, if you got any questions, just type them on in, right? Matter of fact, let me post them. I'm going to go back and post them on the video itself, so y'all can get a view of the scriptures that we went through today. We went through Exodus 23 and 8, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Exodus 23 and 1, Exodus 23 and 7, and now we have Leviticus 19 and 11. All right. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. I bet you're asking yourself what that got to do with voting. Y'all asking yourselves, what does stealing and dealing falsely with one another got to do with voting? Let me tell you something. These cats out here, they're stealing. You're stealing from each other when we are convincing each other that we should vote because we can't look out for each other. You're stealing our hope. You're stealing our dependency on each other. We should be dependent on each other. We should be looking out for each other. But you're stealing that away. You're stealing our growth. You're stealing our, put like this. When MLK was around, he had a movement for us to integrate. Part of that integration was voting, our right to vote, our ability to vote safely. Because we had the right to vote way before, but it's the ability to do it safely is what came in 1969, right? Now, him doing that, what did he steal from us and having us integrate with our enemies? Let me tell you something. He stole black businesses. How did he steal black businesses, you ask? Let me tell you something. Martin Luther King stole black businesses because the simple fact is this integration plan and this illusion of inclusion gave us the thought that we should be in their restaurants, that we should give our money to them. We should be in their, you know what I'm saying, hardware stores in there. And we should do everything with them because we are part of America now. So we gave our money to our enemy. What happened to black businesses when we were doing that? Black businesses were dying. Black businesses were failing. And you could thank Martin Luther King for that. You could thank your right to vote for that, because that's what you voted for. You voted for us to give our money to our enemy. You voted for us to give our society to our enemy. Let me tell you something. You may have fought for integration, but that's not what you got. Integration is when two cultures mix, and that is an even mixture. You got your 50% salt, and you got your 50% pepper, and you mix it together, you got a nice salt and pepper mix. You sprinkle that on some chicken, and it's so-called delicious, right? But let me tell you what you really got. You got assimilation. Assimilation is when we assimilated into their culture. We became a part of their way of life and their way of living. They did not have anything to do with us. We shopped in their businesses. Did they shop in ours? Did white people come to our restaurants back in the 30s and 40s? Let's say, did they come into our restaurants in the 60s? How about the 70s? They damn sure ain't coming into them now. Maybe now because, you know what I'm saying, it's obvious that we cook better. What about our other businesses? The hardware stores, the movie theaters. You know what I'm saying? We had our own black make and models of cars. We had our own everything. But that illusion of inclusion, which the vote has brought, had everything that the black community had, and it was stolen from us. It was taken straight from us by Martin Luther King and all of his Caucasian allies. You know what I'm saying? But let's read that from the top again. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. That I have a dream, that's a lie. That vote or die, that's a lie. All these things that we are taught since birth, that integration is a good thing, you know what I'm saying, is a lie. All it is doing is destroying us. And it's evident. It's evident as can be. You can see it every day that us being amongst our enemy is killing us. It's not killing them. It's not killing them. Their society gets stronger off of our backs, off of our work. And we believe that we are included in this side. We start believing that we are equal. That is a lie. We are not equal. And the quicker we come to that way of thinking that we are not equal with our enemy, we are not equal with this oppressor, the quicker we are able to join each other and band together. Back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, we understood that we are not equal with them. We understood that we weren't equal. So what did we do? We looked out for each other. We used to tell those kids, don't play on that other side of that track. We used to tell our kids that. We used to say, just be amongst each other. Remember when black women used to tell their son they better not bring a white woman home? I don't even know if that's happening anymore. If y'all do, now you got a stepdaughter. You calling her your daughter, while she is using and abusing your son, and you don't even know it. Oh, don't let your daughter come with a white man. Oh man, that is your son for real. You forget about your real son. He's strung out on the corner somewhere. He robbing us to make ends meet, robbing and stealing to make ends meet. And you forgot about him. But Chuck, that's your son. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I got a question, but why didn't post it? Oh, that's in my messenger. That's not on the video. Okay. I'll answer that question later. That's on the messenger. But let me tell you something. We need to separate from our enemy. We need to stop depending on them and start depending on each other. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this voting has done. You know what I'm saying? It has us dealing falsely. with each other, telling each other that integration is a good thing. That's dealing falsely, and it's a lie. It's a straight up and down lie. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get let's go to Leviticus 34. Let's go through Leviticus. No. Let's go to I think that's Ecclesiasticus. It might be Ecclesiastes. No, it's Ecclesiasticus. We're going to go to the Apocrypha for a sec. We're going to go to the Apocrypha. One through 4. Ecclesiasticus 34, 1 through 4. Let's read those scriptures real quick. I'll give y'all a second to catch up. If you got any questions, any comments, you know what I'm saying, any point of view that you want to voice during this class, just type it on in. I'll read it. I'll post it. If you don't worry, depending on what you post, I know that you don't want to post it. But you know what I'm saying, that's what we're going to do. All right. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 34, verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false. Let me tell you something. The hopes of our grandfathers, our grandmothers, the hopes of us being equal to our enemy with this right to vote, they still pushing it on us today. They believe that this right to vote is giving us some type of leeway, some type of advantage, some type of hope in this society. But it's not. It's all in vain. What does it mean that it's all in vain? You hoping that it's something good, but it's not. It's useless. It's pointless. It's not beneficial. And voting is not beneficial for blacks and Hispanics and natives. It's not beneficial at all. You vote and you end up getting kicked in the ass. Every time you vote, something worse happens to us. You know what I'm saying? You vote, if you haven't noticed, like black and Hispanics be getting killed and abused by police officers all year. But when does it seem to be on the news? When does it seem to be brought up? It's right around election time. Now, why? Because they want to brew up some emotion in you. They want you to get angry. They want you to take a side in this vote so that you may believe that the Democrats may help you, so that you may believe that the Republicans may help you, so that you may believe that these Caucasians will help you. And they're not. They're letting regular citizens shoot at employed men doing their job, FedEx drivers. They are allowing that. They are allowing that. And don't be surprised if this Alabama brawl goes left. Like the brother that smacked that those people up with that chair, that, you know what I'm saying, the last chair bender, that brother's going to get the worst of it. While those Caucasians are going to be good. They're going to be A-okay. They might get some fines, you know what I'm saying, at the most, to make it seem like we got justice. While the last chairbender, he might get a few years for smacking that white lady across the head with the chair. That was beautiful on my side. Seeing us band together like that was beautiful. And it felt good, didn't it? Didn't it feel good? Voting is literally the polar opposite of that. We depended on each other. We looked out for each other during that brawl. And voting is literally us depending on our enemy. You know what I'm saying? Voting is literally us depending on the people that is using and abusing us. That's what voting literally is. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue with that. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false. Look, our grandfathers didn't understand what they were doing. They just didn't want the KKK burning crosses on the yard no more. They wanted to go to a movie theater that didn't have 2-year-old movies in it, and that didn't have, rips in the silver screen, and they wanted a movie theater that didn't have roaches and all that stuff. That's what they wanted. They wanted to eat at a restaurant where, you know what I'm saying, the food was bland and at least the tables were cleaned, and you know what I'm saying. They wanted to drink from water fountains that the city cleaned after. They left ours to go dirty and rusted and all that. That's what they wanted. But all they had to do was solve the problems themselves and depend on each other to solve those problems. See that black bathroom is dirty? Get 2 or 3 brothers. Let's go clean that up real quick. See that water fountain that's all rusted and dirty? Let's get a nice brother with plumbing skills to solve these issues. You know what I'm saying? You see a restaurant that might not be the best, but is owned by black people. Let's solve the problem that restaurant has. That's what we should have done as black and Hispanic people. But no, we wanted to be amongst them. We didn't want to solve our problems. We just wanted to be amongst our enemies. You know what I'm saying? And that understanding was vain and false. But let's continue. And dreams lift up fools. Look, Martin Luther King's dream lifted him up. And Martin Luther King was a fool. He was a fool, straight up and down. And I'm telling you that. If you got a problem with it, voice it. We can talk about it. Martin Luther King was a fool. And I might take that back. He might not be a fool. He might knew exactly what he was doing. He might just wanted his white girlfriend, and he wanted to take her to a white movie theater and go eat at white restaurants. That's what he probably wanted. He didn't want to be amongst us. Before Coretta, he was in Harvard with a white woman. And Boston did not play that. In those times, Boston did not play that. So he could not go to the white restaurants in Boston. He could not go to the white movie theaters in Boston with his white girlfriend. No, he could not do that. But he fought so hard so little black boys and little white girls could go join hands. And his dream shot him to the sky. You know why? Because his dream was beneficial for our oppressor. It was beneficial for us to give all our money to them. But it was not beneficial for us. Not at all. It put us in a deeper hole in society. It showed the world, just like voting does. Voting shows the world that we depend on those who hate us. We are weak. That's what it shows the world, that we are weak. Are you weak? Answer that. Are you weak? Because that's literally what you're showing the world. You're literally showing the world that you cannot solve your own issues. And the world don't respect that. That's why we are at the bottom. The world don't respect us because we depend on our enemies. There's other oppressed people on this planet that are more respected than us, because those oppressed people separate themselves. There is literally an island of people who will shoot arrows at airplanes and boats just so their enemy won't come nowhere near them. They are respected to the point that it is warned around the world, don't come near this island. They are about theirs. while the world laughs at us. The world scorns us because we are literally showing our enemy that we are dependent upon them. We are dependent upon them. We have to accept it. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind. Like, you will never be able to catch a shadow. Never. You would never be able to follow the wind. You have dreams and hopes that will never come true. You know what that shadow that we're chasing is? Equality. You know that wind that we're chasing? Inclusion. And we believe voting will give us that. We believe voting will make us equal and will include us into the society that don't give a damn about us. Stop chasing after wind. Stop chasing the shadow. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. You're looking bad out in the streets. We're looking bad. You know what I'm saying? Like TLC would say, stop chasing waterfalls. You're looking dumb. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you used to. Stick to each other. Look out for each other. I'm used to Nana's chicken. Nana's chicken is delicious. Becky's chicken, not so much. But Nana fried that chicken up. Or sister. There's every black neighborhood got some old lady named Sister. Sister got some good food, man. Sister be having cookouts everybody in the neighborhood could go to. Get sister $5, $10 for every plate you take. That's called love. That's called depending on each other. That's called looking out for each other. Like right where I live, there's a Benjamin brother. He just be grilling. He grills. You know what I'm saying? My man be having plates for sale, but nobody knows. He don't advertise. He don't do none of that. You just walk by. I just walk by, smoke that food. I'm like, yo, you selling plates? He's like, yeah. Man, you think I hesitate? I bought a plate from that brother. Every time I smell him cooking, I'm buying a plate from that brother. You know what I'm saying? Because that's looking out for each other. It's looking out for each other. And that's what we should do. Maybe more expensive. But guess what? You gather up a business. You buy that expensive plate from that brother, who knows? He might support you in your business. And that's our problem. We feel that we won't support each other no matter what. And that's that false report. That's that false report. Look, we have no choice but to depend on each other. Because if we don't, we all going to die. We all going to die. We all going to be jammed up in the game. We all going to be in jail. We all going to be poor, suffering. We all going to have our women on stripper poles. All the brothers are going to be pimps, drug dealers. You know why? Because we ain't depend on each other. We ain't look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's continue. The vision of dreams, verse 3. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. So basically, we believe that this dream of Martin Luther King's so-called equality and so-called integration, we believe it's a good thing. But look who is the face of it. Look who we are trying to join ourselves to. You think Becky and Jim actually give a damn about us? We're trying to join them. The same people that burn crosses on our yard, we're trying to join them. The same people that lynched us, we're trying to join them. The same people that tarred and feathered, we're trying to join them. We're trying to join the same people that cut the bellies of our children out of our woman's stomach and stepped on them, stepped on the fetuses of those babies. We're trying to join them. We're trying to join the same people that put crack in our neighborhood. We're trying to join the same people that put automatic guns in our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Semi-auto rifles and all that. We're trying to join those people. These people have shown nothing but hate for us, but we refuse to see it. We refuse to see their face and believe that their face is nice, kind, and gentle. And yeah, this is the face that we want. We could join that face. This face won't stab us in the back. Let me tell you something. They're deadly. They are a deadly group of people, and they will kill us quickly. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? Look, voting is unclean for us. Nothing can clean it. Nothing can make it smooth. Nothing can make it better. Nothing can make it palatable. What God says is unclean is unclean, no matter what your pastor says. Voting is no different from pork. Treat voting like a pork chop or bacon. Treat it as the same. Yeah, it may feel good. Hey, I voted. I got this little sticker. Let me post it on social media. Look, I voted, y'all. Hey, I'm important. You're not. You are the cause of Black people's problems. Next time you see somebody post, because they're about to vote in less than a year. Next time you see somebody posting that, hey, I vote, tell them that they are part of Black people's problems. They are the reason why Black people are not respected on a world scale. They are the issue. You are dependent upon your enemy. Stop voting. If Black people didn't vote, what do you think will happen in the political arena? What do you think will happen? All right. Let me put it like this. You got Biden, you got Trump, you got a few other people who are really just distractions, right? What do you think will happen? No Black vote. Nobody that's Black that voted. What will happen? What, Trump will come into office? Okay, Trump's in office. What's going to happen? Black people going to be killed by cops? Black people going to get arrested and go to jail for small offenses? What's going to happen? Is that going to be any different than when Biden gets into office? No, it's not. Our problems will still be our problems no matter who's in office. So the vote don't matter. That's why it don't matter. It matters to them. Our vote matters to them because it's going to put one of them in office. Does it matter to Black people? Does the Black vote actually benefit Black people? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, does the Black vote actually benefit Black people? And I would tell you, no, it doesn't. It has not, and it will not. It never did. You know what I'm saying? So let's drop that. Let's get Psalms 118. Uh, 8 through 9. That's what I got written there, right? 8 through 9. All right. If you're there, read along. All right. Psalms chapter 118, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. So when we stick together, what are we doing? Are we putting confidence in man, or are we putting confidence in the Lord? Because let me tell you, the Lord literally tells us in Zephaniah 2:1 to stick together, to look out for each other. That's all the Bible really is about. At the end of the day, it's about Black, Hispanic, and Native loving and taking care of each other. It's all it's about. So when you look out and trust in each other and depend on each other, is that putting faith in the Lord, or is that putting faith in man, which is our own, which is each other? What are we exactly doing? The Lord told us to do it. So we are putting faith in the Lord by doing so. You know what I'm saying? We are putting faith in the Lord by looking out for each other and joining each other. You know what I'm saying? But when we're voting, what exactly are we doing? What exactly are we doing when we're voting? Let me tell you something. When we're voting, we are putting confidence in a man that has shown nothing but hate for us since the beginning. We putting confidence in a man, let's say Biden, for example, that created a crime bill that got brothers doing life sentences for stealing chewing gum. 3 strikes, you're out. And we're trusting in this man to lead the Black community. How about for Trump? Let's say you vote for Trump. You're trusting in a man that helped falsely accuse 5 Black men in Central Park of a crime that they have not committed. Help get those men in prison. Some of them committed, I think one of them committed suicide. Have them do years in jail. Years. And that's what you put in your vote into. That's where your confidence lies. You're justifying the wicked because you're picking the lesser of 2 evils. And that's what you're doing. So when you are voting, what are you doing? Putting your confidence in man or in the Most High? What you doing? Explain that to me. Because I say you're putting your confidence in man when you vote. But when we just look out for each other and depend on each other and not vote, we are following what the Most High literally told us to do. You know what I'm saying? We are following literally what he told us to do. Let me read that from the top again. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. Who are these princes? Who are these princes? Let me tell you, everybody that runs for president has some type of eliteness to them in this world. They're not average Joes. They're not speckles. You would never look. Trump, Obama wasn't even an average Joe. He was related to the Bushes. No average Joe was a president. They all were princes. They all were some type of elite, esteemed people in this country. So when you're voting, you're putting your confidence in these princes of this world. Leave them. Don't put your confidence in them. Let's drop that. Let's get Let's get Deuteronomy 17 and 15 real quick. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. If you're there, read along with me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. What are we doing when we're voting? We're setting a certain person to rule over us. And the scripture straight up just now told us that we should not be setting him over thee. Who is the him? The him is our enemy. The him is those that oppress us. That's who the him is, but it don't matter who the him is, because it said we should not be setting him over us. Nobody should we be setting over us. It's not our job. It's not our place to pick who rules over us. Let's continue. Whom the Lord thy God shall choose. Look, the Lord our God is the person that's supposed to be choosing who is over us. How do we know who that is? We know who the Lord is with. Let's say with King Saul and King David, right? King Saul was anointed king, and that is through the Most High, but he lost his way, right? So the Most High had Saul go through some afflictions. He had this young cat who was getting a name up in the city, saying people making noise about this young cat. And how do we know who the Lord is with? King Saul and King David went to war. And King David had many chances to kill King Saul. But him being a righteous brother, he did not. He did not. Which further proved who the Most High was with, because guess what? He could have killed King Saul and showed that it was his strength that led him to the position. But no. It was the Most High, because the simple fact is, it wasn't his strength. He refused to kill King Saul many a times. The Most High put King Saul on a platter for King David multiple times. And he still did not do it. Because King David respected who the Lord chose as his anointed. Even if King David didn't even understand that he was that anointed at the time. He viewed King Saul as that. That is him. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High chooses who our leader is. And it will be evident and clear to everybody. It will be evident and clear to everybody. You know who our leader is today? Our leader is today Commander General Yohana. He is undefeated. These cats go to war with us and they get shot at. Not by our hands, but through the Most High's will. The Most High will put any Joe Schmo in front of our enemy, and our enemy will have a problem. We don't have to lift a finger. You know what I'm saying? We are the one that is flawless out in the streets. We're not the ones that's talking about raping children. We're not the one that's talking about loving our enemies and marrying our enemies. We're not the one that's talking about, you know what I'm saying, joining Africans and having Africans kill our daughters. No. Isupk is the only flawless group out there. If you don't believe that, so be it. But the Most High has chosen Commander General Yohana to lead us at this moment till Christ returns. And you have no choice but to accept it. That's the Most High's will. If you don't think it's the Most High's will, well, the Isupk has no problem going to war with you. Thing is, the Isupk, we don't vote. We'll let the Lord's will be done. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord's will is with us. Believe that. I pray you understand it. If you don't, you're going to learn. I just hope not the hard way. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Read that from the top. Deuteronomy 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose, one from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Listen, the one that the Most High is going to set king over us is going to be another Black, Hispanic, or Native person. Obama is not a Black, Hispanic, or Native person. He is an African. He is part of the problem of why we are in this hellhole we are suffering in. He's part of that problem. But he was set a Negro above us. He was set a Hispanic above us. He was set a Native above us. That's what we was set above us. The people that we don't respect. We don't respect our own. So when we see a Tyrone, a Hector, you know what I'm saying? When we see those type of people, we seem not to respect it. Well, Tyrone may be a better fit leader than Trump. Hector might be a better fit leader than Biden. But the Lord must choose that person. You know what I'm saying? Not us, the Lord. Let's continue. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Look, we're not going to set a stranger over us. But your vote, that's exactly what your vote does. Your vote set a stranger, a person that is not of our nation, over us. When the scriptures straight up and down forbids us to do such thing. The scriptures straight up and down forbids us to set a stranger above us, to set an enemy above us. You know what I'm saying? That is something that we should not be doing. You know what I'm saying? That is something that we should not be doing. We should not be having an Irishman, an Italian, an Englishman, an Asian, East Indian, an Arab, a Polynesian. We should not be having anybody over us talking about they are running our communities. They are leading our communities. That is something that we should not be doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to close this out with one more scripture. It's going to be in Ecclesiasticus. All right, we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Oh, I ain't typing nothing that whole time. Okay, if you're there, read along with me. Matter of fact, we're going to start off with 9. We're going to go up one verse above it. Put a little history behind this voting. Right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 9. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. When will black people prosper? We were prospering before 1968. We were prospering before this right to vote was so damn popular. We were prosperous before our voting was so damn important. We were prospering. We had our black communities, our black businesses, our black unity, our black love. We looked out for each other. We were prospering. Guess what they had? Guess what happened? Our enemy was greed. That's what happened in Tulsa. Our enemies were greed. That's what happened in Rosewood. That's what happened in Seneca Village. That's what happened in so many places in this country. That's what happened. Our enemy seen that. And he was grieved. So he allowed MLK and his little dream to flourish. He allowed that because once we stop depending on each other, looking out for each other, guess who we're going to look out and depend on? Our enemy. No matter what, as a man, you're going to look out and depend on somebody. As a woman, you're going to look out and depend on somebody. It's just nature. It's just the way things are. You can believe that you're doing everything on your own, but you're not. You can believe this, you can believe that, but you're not. You're going to look up and depend on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So, what's it going to be? You're going to separate from my enemies, or you're going to depend on them? You're going to trust in your enemy. When the scripture straight up just told you. Well, I ain't even read that part yet. But our enemies are grieved with our successes, especially when we don't depend on him for our success. As individuals, he'll give us success, but as a nation, as a community, as a people, we have none. Well, let's continue. But in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Look, we go through some things in the Black community, and we are no longer dependent on each other. We no longer trust each other. We go through some adversity. We don't depend on each other for nothing. And it's all because we are dependent on our enemy, and we trust our enemy. And he's seen us grieving, so he forced that adversity on us. He put crack in our neighborhood. He put heroin. He put opioids in our neighborhood. He got our children popping pills. He got our woman on a stripper pole. And we can't trust our woman for nothing. And that's sad. The one person that we should be able to trust is the woman that we lay next to every day. And we don't know why? Because our oppressor allows that. Our oppressor enforces that. That's why we got this gender wars amongst the Black community. No other community has a gender war. No other community. Black men are getting famous off of this gender war. Black women are getting famous off the gender war. And really, let's be honest, this war ain't real. Half of the things that they're saying is not dominant examples. But that's because our enemy is grieved with our successes. So he put those adversities in front of us where we can't trust each other. So we have no choice but to depend on somebody. And who's that somebody? Him. But let's continue. Verse 10, never trust thine enemy. Look, the Bible is telling us to never trust our enemy. Never trust the things that he is putting forth in front of us. What does that mean? Never trust rap music. Yeah, it's good entertainment, but just take it as that. You think anything these people are saying is real? Think what they're doing is really what they're doing? You've seen Sukiana, who likes to project herself as as the promiscuous woman. But as soon as a man put that promiscuity to the test, oh, she's a victim. Now, why? Because she ain't really about that promiscuous life. That is just entertainment. And that's the most you should take it as. And you shouldn't even take it as quality entertainment. It's disgusting entertainment. Shouldn't even take it as quality. Because that type of entertainment is poisoning you. I would like to put your kids into it, but no, you're poisoned by it too. You actually believe what they're talking about is real. You actually believe that these cats are really busting guns like that. If they were, that's where they'd be, in jail. They'd be in jail. Why people don't trust Black people with guns? You know what I'm saying? Well, let's continue. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Guess what? Guess what's guaranteed to happen to all pieces of iron? It's guaranteed to happen to all pieces of iron. All pieces of iron is guaranteed to rust. Guaranteed. So his wickedness is guaranteed to show. The question is, do you see it? Do you choose to see it? Do you want to see it? His wickedness is guaranteed to show. And what are you doing? Are you joining hand in hand with him? Or are you separating from him and joining with your people? You see what he's doing to us. You see what happened to that brother Demontario Gibson. I think it's Demontario Gibson. Brother was shot out just delivering packages for FedEx. Think FedEx come to that brother defense? Think FedEx is going to help that brother out mentally? Pay for his therapy? No, they're not. No, they're not. They're going to expect him to come to work the next day. Brother was just chased down and shot at. Bullet holes riddled all through the truck. And this is not a rare occurrence. This is not a rare thing. Brothers who deliver in white neighborhoods get harassed all the damn time. There'll be an Amazon worker or a FedEx was dropping off packages in a little white town. Be all up in Charleston. Or Charleston's getting a little blacker now. Or be all up in all these little white towns around here. You're going to get chased out, shot at, just like that brother did. Just because you think it's safe, just because you're at work. Look, our enemy is a devil, man. He's straight up and down a devil. He's about as wicked as it gets. You may trust him because he gave you a little. Let me tell you something. If you don't blame MLK for this, you're crazy. You may think if it wasn't for MLK, he probably would never got a job with FedEx. And you're right. He wouldn't have gotten a job with FedEx. Guess where he would have gotten a job? He probably would have been delivering for some black-owned logistic company, delivering logistics to black neighborhoods, where he would have been safe and nobody would have been chasing him down and shooting at him, trying to take his life. That's MLK's fault. That's our enemy, our oppressor's fault. And the sad part is the vote had brothers and sisters believing that justice was possible in this case. That's why the mother ran out of that courtroom and was so hurt. She believed justice was possible. She believed it was possible that her son might get justice. But no, there was no justice. You can't expect justice from pigs. You can't expect justice from snakes. You can't accept justice from these wild beasts that we have as oppressors. You can't. You should have went to that case expecting, well, your goal should have been just to get the word out there that they trying to shoot at us while we're working. While we're working, they try to shoot at us. While we're working, they jumping us on piers. While we're working, they're fighting us. They're throwing drinks and food in our faces while we're working at McDonald's or Waffle House or so forth and so on. This is what you got to expect, and that's what they should have put out there. Don't expect justice from them. Oh, no. They know. It's reported. It's in the news report that the police were doing shoddy investigation. And they still got a mistrial. That police department should be up for investigation. You think your vote's going to get that? You think your vote's going to get a federal investigation on a whole police department? No, it's not. It's not. Your vote means nothing for you. It doesn't benefit you at all. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't benefit you one bit. Not one bit at all. Let's get with it. Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, though he may go in the black community, going all up on your socials and all that, all up on your shows and humble himself, he's doing it just to get your vote. He's doing it just to get your vote. You know what I'm saying? Take good heed and beware of him, yo. Don't trust him. He may humble himself. He may try to pander to your needs. He may give you some false promises. But, yo, the scripture straight up telling you, take good heed of him. Look at him. And don't trust him. Don't trust him. Just know he's going to stab you in the back. Know he's going to do you dirt. You know what I'm saying? And thou shalt be unto him as if thou wipest, as if thou hadst wipest. I mean, it's like if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. You know, and he's gonna be unto you as, you know, you're gonna start seeing things clearly. There's two types of looking glasses, right? Two types. There's the magnifying glass, which you're going to see every type of flaw in him. Everything's going to be clear to you. Everything's going to be magnified. You're going to see it. And the point of this class is to help you see it before it affects you. The point of this class is to help you see it before it damages you and breaks you down. Then there's the other looking glass, which is a mirror. Wipe that mirror down and see yourself clearly. See the flaws in yourself and why you depended in that man in the first place. Why you look at him for leadership in the first place. Why you thought he was going to solve your problems in the first place, because he's not. He's not. He's the root cause to your problem. He's the root cause to every problem on this planet. Let me tell you something. Think about it for a second. If there's an animal going extinct, why is it going extinct? Is it because black, Hispanics, and natives are hunting them down for show and sport? Nah, it's not something that we do. Or is it because our enemies hunting them down for sport? I mean, who's our enemy? Caucasians. They'll hunt anything down for sport. Remember that dude in Jersey, you know what I'm saying, hunted down Cecil the lion. You know what I'm saying? You got Asians doing all types of fishing, eating any and everything in the sea. You know what I'm saying? We are the only ones that don't hunt for sport. And we're not going to hunt till everything's dead. So any extinct animal is on our enemies. What about the environment? Is it us releasing CO2 gases into the environment causing the ozone layer? No. We don't make anything that has CO2 gas. Not hairspray, not nothing. But guess who does? Our enemy. Our oppressor. Look, if you stub your toe, blame him. Just blame him. It'll feel good. It'll feel right. Every problem on this earth is because of him. Yes, I am one of those people that blame him for everything. And I will till I die. Every problem on this planet is his fault. If you just take a second to think about it. Just a second to think about it. Name a problem. I want y'all to type in a problem right now. I bet $1 million I could point out who the problem really is. And it's our oppressor. Just think about it for 10 seconds. Don't even got to put that much time on the clock. How is he the problem to this? How is he the problem then? He is always the problem. Why is your mother on crack? Because he put it in your neighborhood. That's why. He know that Black and Hispanics are some stressed out people going through hard times in hell. And if we get a little bit of relief in that damn crack pipe, that's where we're going to get it. And it's cheap. Cheap pleasure. He know how our mind works. Why the native brothers and sisters drunk on reservations? Because he puts liquor stores in there. Believe that. He claims that this land is theirs, but it always seems to be his liquor stores. You think natives own those liquor stores? Who owns the liquor stores in the native reserve? And guess what? Who owns the casinos? The same person that owns that liquor store. They claim that it's a native, but it's really just a $5 Indian. It's not really a real native. It's a $5 Indian. I'm telling you, every problem on this planet is due to our enemy. You know what I'm saying? Let me finish this verse up. And thou shalt be unto him as thou wipest unto looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Like his wickedness, remember his rust is his wickedness, and that has not been altogether wiped away. It has not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to end the class on that. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, you can hit us up on our DMs on all our socials. You know what I'm saying? And we got a phone number, you know what I'm saying, that you can call. You know what I'm saying, to if you got any questions, you can call the number. And let me say the number right now. 617-372-2122. Let me type it up in here. 617-372-2112. If you have any question that you want to be private about, anything, call that number down there. If you want to be a member, you know what I'm saying, of the school, you want to learn, you want to be, you know what I'm saying, studious, you want to help your people out, show love to your people, call that number. You know what I'm saying? Put on all black shirt, black pants, black headpiece, black boots. You know what I'm saying? Get up here and do this work. And don't forget, man, we got the Harlem Cookout coming this weekend. We're going to be in Harlem at the Marcus Garvey on Park. You know what I'm saying? Feeding our people, take care of our people, showing our people love. If you got any questions, then bring out your questions then too. You live in person with it. You know what I'm saying? Face to face with it. And with that, shalom.